Hey guys, it's Dom from mobiledom.co.uk and today I've got the review of the LG Google Nexus 4. Alright, the Nexus devices are a bit of a milestone in Google's Android development. Each, roughly a year, sometimes like 11 months, Google has a manufacturer create the Nexus device. It runs pure Android and is the first to receive updates. These phones are awesome, but this is the first device that is quite kind of consumer orientated. It comes at an incredibly low price, starting at just £239. So, is it all it's cracked up to be? After this quick and dirty intro, there is a very nice long review. Alright guys, let's start off this review with a quick recap of the hardware specs. At the beating heart of the Nexus 4, we have a quad-core Qualcomm Snapdragon S4 Pro, which is the APQ8064 for you processor nerds, with the Adreno 320 GPU. And for any of you in the know, you know that this is probably the most high-end CPU on the market right now. I mean, I said on the market right now. When the Snapdragon 800, the Tegra 4, the Exynos 5 Octa come out, obviously they'll probably end up blowing this out of the water. But at the moment in time, this is filmed on February 11th. This is the this is the highest end CPU there is. Wow. On the front, we have a 4.7-inch diagonal WXGA True HD IPS Plus, which is 1280 down by 768 across, which gives it a lovely crisp PPI of 320, which is obviously above the 300 PPI barrier for Retina, and is covered in a lovely curved sheet of Gorilla Glass 2. On the back, we have an 8 megapixel autofocus camera capable of recording 1080p video, and we have a 1.3 megapixel front-facing camera. Sorry, I've got a bit of a sore throat, guys. We have Bluetooth 4.0 low power, we have NFC, we have DLNA, we have Miracast, we have wireless Qi charging. And at the time of this video being shot, the wireless charging orb for the Nexus 4 went on sale in the Play Store last night, and it was at $60 for those in the States, and obviously I couldn't get a price here in the UK, so I'm guessing it'll be somewhere about £40 odd for that. Yeah, so we have DLNA, Miracast, NFC, wireless Qi charging, micro USB 2.0 on the bottom here with a slim port HDMI cable. I have no idea why they didn't just go with MHL, because MHL is becoming a kind of standard, or an unwritten standard, because everyone used it and it was great. But hey ho, we've got Wi-Fi 802.11 A, B, G, and N. There is 8 gigs or 16 gigs of onboard storage. This is the 8 gig model. There is obviously the 16 gig model. There is no expansion, so buy whichever one you think you're going to need, and obviously you will have enough. There are rumours of a 32 gig coming, but obviously that is not announced, so it's just speculation. Right, the measurements is 135mm from top to bottom, 69 from left to right, and 9.1mm thin. I'll come on to that later, but I actually like that it's not the thinnest in the pack. Wow, my throat. It's got a 2100 milliamp sealed in lithium ion battery, which is in my testing it was okay. Actually it's not okay, it was pretty bad, but I can tell you some tips later on to get better battery life. 2G bands 850, 900, 1800, 1900, and 3G bands are 850, 900, 1700, 1900, and 2100. Alright, now those are the hardware specifications. I'm going to tell you a bit about the pricing. The 8GB model comes in at no it doesn't. It comes in at £239 and £250 including shipping. And obviously the 16 gig is £279 and somewhere near £300 with shipping. Alright, now let's move on to the hardware of the phone, and by hardware I mean the externals. I love the hardware of the Nexus 4. I'm going to turn it off here. The smooth glass on the front and the back, the soft touch plastic on the sides, the chrome rim, it's beautiful. The chrome buttons at the side, the glittery back. If I can get it shining right in the light, if I can. I don't seem to be able to make it shine. I'm not in optimal conditions, and that sucks, because obviously I'd really like for you to No. Glare doesn't want to come. Oh well. The glare back in the Nexus 4 is awesome. Like I said, it's nice and slim at 9.1 meters. It's definitely not the thinnest out there. That goes to, I believe it's a Huawei. I could be wrong, but it's like 6.45 millimeters, and that's just stupidly thin. But for me, it's thin enough, and I don't get the this is too thin like feeling like I do with the iPhone 5, the HTC One S, the Motorola Razr, not the Max version, the standard 7.1 millimeter. And it's not too heavy. 139 grams is wide enough, and it's just thick enough, and it's heavy enough to feel high quality. Alright, I'm quickly going to show you some benchmarks here. I'm just going to take off camera to try and find those. I'm going to show you some benchmarks because the hardware in this is phenomenal. Here on Geekbench we got 1851. On Quadrant Standard we got 4912. On Antutu we got 15997. Wow, on SmartBench 2012 we've got 3038 on the productivity and 2771 on the gaming index. Speed test was quite good actually. On 3G, the highest on my carrier, I got 7.3 megs down and 2.3 megs up. But this test is kind of an anomaly. It was done at 4 in the morning. So if we find one at a more reasonable time, here it is. There's one at 3 in the afternoon, 6 megs down, 1 meg up, and that was with 110 milliseconds ping, which is pretty phenomenal. Another thing, the Nexus 4 is the only phone in recent memory for me that's been able to pull in good speeds on my Wi-Fi, so 26 down and 18 up. So I'm quickly going to just try and find the other screenshot, which is the battery life. Now, the battery life on this graph here is for, which is done with Franco kernel. Alright guys, sorry about that, my battery just died in my camera, so I had to quickly go and replace it. Alright, now the battery life shown in here is done on Franco kernel, the stock kernel, because the stock kernel was pretty abysmal. But as you can see, I got 11 hours and 52 minutes, so I essentially got 12 hours on this, and the screen was on 73% of the time. And that left me with 4% remaining. And that is pretty phenomenal. On the actual stock kernel, I barely got 6 hours. So, like I say, apart from the last bit there, that was the good points. Now I'm going to move on to the bad parts, and luckily there's few and far between. One of the bad parts is this back. As gorgeous as it is, and obviously there's a shed load of fingerprints, great. As gorgeous as this back is, it slips off of virtually any surface. I mean, there's a reason, apart from I don't want to scratch it, that I've got it on this case here. It's because this is a glass desk, and this, this desk is incredibly smooth. This phone is probably smoother, and I have quite literally seen it doing a bit of a dance on this table. So there's a reason it's on this case. This back will slip off of any surface I put it on. Like I said, luckily mostly in this case, I just took it off for the review. Another thing, these buttons, there's one here, and you can technically call that another 2 buttons. There's 3 buttons on this device. How the hell did LG manage to screw up the only 3 buttons on here? Alright, the volume buttons are mushy, and if I put this near the mic, that's me just rubbing my finger. I'm not like pushing down. So that one squeaks. That one after just over 2 months of use is nearly flush, and it's incredibly mushy anyway. I mean, the placement of it is perfect if you're right-handed, because it's exactly where your thumb lies. But I'm not. I'm right-handed. I'm left-handed, and obviously no one's finger is all the way up there. So that's one thing. So the buttons suck. They creak and squeak. I mean, that's the only part of the phone that creaks and squeaks though. I mean, if I try and do a rigidity test, this thing doesn't creak at all. It doesn't bend, it doesn't break anything. A few other things. This thing gets hot. I mean, from the upper part of, so where the Nexus logo is upwards. This is where I'm guessing the SoC in the phone is. This guy gets hot. Like gaming wise, because I'm guessing you're holding it this way, so it's right where your hand is. I mean, luckily I don't do a lot of gaming. I pretty much despise mobile gaming, The only games on here are Jetpack Joyride and Temple Run. I only downloaded Temple Run this morning. So, wow, it's quite annoying my throat. So during gaming or anything quite seriously intensive, like if you're running like benchmark after benchmark after benchmark, or you're web browsing, like doing Flash stuff for ages, it will get hot, like hot enough to make your hand quite sweaty. I mean, it's not like unbearably hot. Like I've had phones that heat up, like when I'm on the phone, so like they make my ear really hot. This doesn't do that. This is just hot in the back. The battery is probably the last thing that I'd say is pretty awful. That is, I don't know why. I'm just gonna say Google's got bad battery, bad kernel engineers. Because like I said, I got roughly 6 hours and just under 1 hour of screen time on the original kernel. With Franco kernel, I get over 11 hours, and like I showed you before, I got nearly 12, and I get roughly 6 hours of screen on time almost every day. Now, some people are a bit worried to unlock their bootloader, root it, put a custom ROM on, put a custom kernel, custom recovery. I'm sorry, it's a Nexus, it's a piece of piss. And on the newer versions of Franco kernel, he's even got color tweaks. So, color control, you can make the screen to your liking. So obviously I've turned the screen brightness down for this review, because otherwise it like kills the camera. But I've tweaked the display as I found some gamma controls online, and I put in the numerics, and the display now looks gorgeous. Because that was like one of the only few quirks about the phone is the screen was kind of washed out. So, but like I said, unlocking your bootloader, rooting it, all of that, it's a piece of piss. But obviously you do it at your own risk. Last thing, I'm just going to show you a couple camera shots. All right, I'm going to put a non-lit. I'm going to put a non-flash here. And I'm going to put a flash enabled shot here. I've got the front-facing camera shot here. Now I've got a HD 1080p video sample here. Hey guys, it's Tom from mobildom.co.uk, and today I've got the LG Nexus 4 1080p video sample. So I'm just going to look down here on my bedside table. If I move back up here, we've got the two canvases there. Move over, we've got my door, my chest of drawers, and my stuff on my chest of drawers. We've got a canvas here, so I just did a bit of rotation. We've got another canvas there, my couch and stuff. There's my desk, my blackboard with my script on it. If I do a quick zoom there, yeah. Oh, I hate digital zoom, but I had to show it. There's my shooting desk with the nice phones. I've got iPhone, BlackBerry, HTC, BlackBerry, Playbook, monitor, Kindle, Skybox, Xbox 360, LG Telly. This is quite interesting. This is a microphone or microphone stand, and I clamped an old lamp on because there's not enough light shining down on my shooting, so that's nice artificial light. My camera on the tripod there. My DVD collection. Here's us in front of the mirror. There you go, testing the pinch to zoom. It's digital zoom, and I personally can't stand it, but it's there. Like I said, this is Dom from mobildom.co.uk.